Hello again, everybody. Today actually I was going to make a video on doing some work to the trike, and I pulled the Centurion down where I could hook the winch on because the trike doesn't have reverse in it, so hook the winch on to drag the trike backwards, and I was rolling the winch cable back up and the Centurion quit. It started spitting and sputtering and quit. I was like, well, that's probably not good. Okay, so started him back up and kind of did the same thing. Quit. You can sit and push the gas pedal down, it'll run. As soon as you let off the gas, it'll spit and sputter and go on until it just decides it wants to quit. So figured I'd do a little troubleshooting on the Centurion today. Try to figure out what's going on. Let me spin you around here and let's check out what all I've done so far, and might throw it back to y'all and see if y'all have any kind of suggestions as to what this may be, and I'll tell you what my theories are. Okay, so let me fire it up here. You can see before I even start it, it is holding fuel pressure. I have that plumbed into the fuel pressure shredder valve, and it is holding a little less than 40. Once it starts, it holds 40 all the time. So fuel pressure is good. When it's running and it starts running weird, you'll see the vacuum gauge will drop all the way down. I've seen it go all the way down to 5, and then by the time it gets to about 5, it's ready to quit. Now, I think that's just because it's running bad. I don't think it's losing vacuum, because I have taken carburetor cleaner and I have sprayed all over the back of the engine, listening for a difference in sound to indicate a vacuum leak. I even took the idle air control valve off, cleaned it, and put it back on. Actually, that's a different one. I put a different idle air control valve back on from another car. So, you know, trying that. I took the EGR off, cleaned it, put a new gasket on it, and put it all back. And still, it does the same thing. I was thinking vacuum leak this whole time. I even checked the brake booster line. Nothing, it's fine. Let me start it and show y'all what it's doing. Okay, so I just now started it up and holding pretty good vacuum right now. It will run pretty good for a little bit. You see the fuel pressure holding fairly steady. Engine sounds good and everything. If you let it run long enough, it will do its little shenanigans. And you can hear it does run very well. It responds to throttle very well. And you'll know when it starts running bad. You'll see this gauge start. Yeah, there it goes. Gauge is dropping. Of course, when the gauge drops, the fuel pressure will go up. The only reason that is because you're losing vacuum, and the vacuum is what powers your fuel pressure regulator. Okay, now it's got over its little fit, and it's idling again. Okay, it didn't quit that time at least, but you know, it eventually will. Just kind of sounds almost like it's flooding. Now I ran torque on it, and the torque app showed that when it was losing vacuum, the torque app showed that the fuel trim went way negative, like in the 20s negative. And the oxygen sensor showed like at 1.1 volts or something like that. So it was running very rich. So see, one thing I was thinking before was there's an injector hung open. Of course, now you can hear it's quit. Key's still on, so I need to go turn that off. But see, I was thinking, okay, well maybe we're just flooding out because it's showing that it's running really rich. It's having to do crazy negative fuel trims. So it must be an injector sticking open. Thing is, if it was an injector sticking open, this would drop down to 0 very quickly. And it sits and holds pressure very well. So it can't be an injector leaking, because if it was, right now we wouldn't see that gauge where it's sitting. Okay, now one theory that I've had is that I got some bad gas. I stopped at an unfamiliar gas station. I usually don't do that, but we were moving between jobs and I had to stop and get gas, so I had to stop wherever I could. And you know, the gas station looked fairly new. I wouldn't figure that there was anything wrong with it, but maybe I got some bad gas, got some water in the gas. Maybe it's just, you know, something knocked loose, maybe where I run it kind of low on gas. I never run it low on gas, but this one time I did. Maybe I ran it low enough that it started picking up some drugs in the tank. But it seems to me, if it was clogging up the fuel filter, that the fuel pressure would drop while it was running. The fuel pressure stays just fine while it's running. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it might be bad gas. I'm going to try cleaning the injectors and see if that works, and get back to you. I don't know. Slow vehicles is always something. Let's play around a little bit more and see if we can get this thing to smooth out. Well, there we go. I got it all started up and running on. You can see the air compressor out there and the little injector cleaner. It's not running very good because I don't have enough pressure. That little compressor can't keep up anymore. I guess it's getting kind of old. But I'm going to sit here and I'm going to run it until it runs out of gas. Whoa. It just completely cleared up. I don't know if y'all can hear that. The engine just completely like cleared up. It's running perfectly, well, mostly smooth. That might have been the clog right there. Well, we're going to keep her running here for a few minutes, and I will get back with you once we run out of gas in that little container. Alright, so it finally quit, and once I come back out here and turned the pump off, you can see when I turn it on, the gas will blow back down in there. I guess it compresses the regulator or something. Once it builds up pressure, that all goes down, but turn the pump off and it bubbles back out. So it's basically out of fuel. I guess that was all that it could pressurize in there. So we're going to leave it at that, and I'm going to put my relay back in. The relay goes right in here, and I'm going to swap this contraption out for the fuel pressure gauge. Down here it is. and we're going to go from there and just see if we've got any results. Okay, so I just started the back. We've got right at 40, a little bit less, and we've got pretty good vacuum. Remember, it used to always be closer to the 20, but there we go again. Okay, there it goes. Clean the injectors, but I mean, of course, it's still got the same fuel in it. But if there were any water in the injectors, that should have cleaned them out. But even though we went through and did that cleaning, it's getting ready to die. Well, the car's getting ready to die. So, cleaning the injectors did not help. So, yeah. Here's the engine, it's just barely idling enough to, that's why you're losing vacuum. But like I said, when you start losing vacuum, your pressure comes up because it takes vacuum away from your regulator. So, yeah, that's why that happens, I guess. Yeah, you can see it'll almost go up to 50. Yep, and it's dead. Okay. Alright then. So, that did not fix the problem. So, yeah, I'm taking one step at a time here so that I can know what it was that fixed it. And as of right now, I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave the video at this, and I'm going to ask y'all, does anybody have any idea what that could be? If you can leave it in a comment below. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe intake gasket. These are bad for that, but I don't know. I could pull the plugs and see what the plugs look like. I'll go back over again what all I have done to try to remedy this. Now, I have checked all the vacuum lines, and I cannot find the vacuum leak. Actually, I did fix one vacuum leak, but that wasn't it. I've checked the throttle position sensor to see if it's working, and it does. When I put the torque app on, I can see that it does sweep through the range. So it does work. The idle air control valve, I took that off, cleaned it, actually replaced it with another one. Same exact result. I took the EGR valve off, and I didn't replace it. I just kind of cleaned it up, put a new gasket on it, put it back on. I've cleaned the injectors. I took the airbox stuff off and made sure there was nothing clogging that up. I have not put a fuel filter in it yet, but now to me, the fact that it still holds good fuel pressure while it's running tells me the fuel filter is okay. But if y'all have a different opinion, let me know. Someone knowledgeable in these engines, these little 3100s, what would you check next? And where would you go next in this diagnosis? Because I think it's probably something really simple that once I fix it, it'll be like, oh, well, of course that's what it was. But I'm just not getting it yet. I guess that'll be about it for this failure of a video. Appreciate everybody watching, and I'll see y'all on the next one.